Once you have been arrested and interviewed under caution, the police have two options if they intend to continue investigating the alleged offence. They may release you on bail, either conditionally or unconditionally, or they can release you under investigation. Pre-charge bail is a tool where an individual who has been arrested and detained in police custody can then be released from custody to allow the police investigation to continue. Suspects are often released subject to conditional police bail, which allows police officers to attach conditions to the bail, for example, to protect witnesses. Individuals can also be released subject to pre-charge bail without conditions, or can be released under investigation, where there are no conditions applied to them in relation to the investigation. The main difference in relation to being released under investigation is that there is no specific date for a suspect to return to the police station, as there is with pre-charge bail. Bail conditions can be imposed to reduce any risks that could remain by granting unconditional bail. The investigating officer should consider the necessity and proportionality of any proposed conditions to present to the custody officer, who will make any decision in relation to police bail conditions. Conditions may only impose where it is necessary to prevent a suspect from failing to surrender to custody, to prevent a suspect from committing an offence while on bail, to prevent a suspect from interfering with witnesses or otherwise obstructing the course of justice, or for the suspect's own protection, or if a child or young person, for their own welfare. There is no set list of police bail conditions, but they often include the following: reporting, so having to report to the police station at specified times on certain days of the week; forfeiting your passport to prevent foreign travel; having a curfew; non-contact, so being unable to contact certain people, for example, the alleged victim; residence, being made to live and sleep at a specific address; being unable to go to a specific location; or attending a certain appointment. The bail conditions that police will impose vary on a case-by-case basis. As an example, in domestic allegations, the police will frequently impose conditions of non-contact, prohibiting an individual from making contact with the alleged victim or from returning to the matrimonial home, which can have a huge impact on child contact. Often, an individual may be released from the police station with bail conditions that may be disproportionate. Whilst the responsibility for bail conditions is that of the custody sergeant, in reality they will be guided by the views of the investigating officer. In the first instance, therefore, it is appropriate for defence solicitors to discuss any suggested variation to bail conditions with the investigating officer, explaining why the current conditions are disproportionate or the suggested variation is important. In many cases, we can successfully liaise with the police and negotiate variations to bail conditions. If the police are not prepared to vary police bail conditions, then we can apply to the Magistrates' Court to vary the conditions. The magistrates will consider the case and arguments put forward in relation to the bail conditions by both the prosecution and defence. In some cases, lodging the application to the Magistrates' Court can prompt the police to consider in more detail suggested variations to the current bail conditions and encourage negotiation prior to any court hearing. Initially, you can be released on police bail for a period of up to 3 months. The initial applicable bail period can then be extended with the authority of an inspector to 6 months. A second bail extension can then be authorised by a superintendent, who may authorise a further extension from 6 to 9 months. The Magistrates' Court then have the flexibility to grant further extensions. Investigations still need to be conducted diligently and expeditiously, irrespective of any time available as part of the remaining bail period. Regular progress against an investigation needs to be shown, and an investigation should not drift. If there are actions to be taken to finalise a case and obtain a charging decision, these actions should be taken as soon as reasonably practicable and not left until the end of the bail period. This is specifically referred to within the pre-charge bail statutory guidance as a diligent and expeditious investigation ensures a better service for victims and witnesses, better management and welfare of the suspect, and improved evidence gathering and case file preparation. The guidance specifically states that it also enhances the likelihood of justice being served. The investigations team at Olliers focus on a front-footed, proactive approach which involves early police contact. We will look at all potential avenues of investigation and defence lines of inquiry. We also seek to participate in pre-charge engagement in appropriate cases. At Olliers, we have considerable experience in dealing with pre-charge matters. If you would like to discuss how we can proactively assist you in relation to your case at a pre-charge stage, please contact us to discuss your case further.